Now, this is going to be my last video on who or if Tony was killed, as I just want to show you all the evidence as to why Tony is dead. First off is of course what Bobby says to Tony, which lines up perfectly with the finale.
You probably don't even hear it when it happens, right?
Next is the shots that hint of Tony's death, like when he's shot in the first episode of season 6, which mirrors a shot from the finale of Tony sleeping, which is shown to look as though he's in a casket. Of course, the fact that the whole season is just about death and about people willing to kill Tony, like Butch bringing up to Phil, why don't they just kill Tony? And eventually it's shown that Butch is possibly the one to kill Tony, via him shaking hands behind the back of Tony with Polly. Polly, who is also shown throughout this season, is afraid of Tony, even becoming paranoid about it, and if Polly could be involved, it is possible due to the fact he is shown to talk to New York in the past.
Even before I left, he was treating me like the ugly girl at the dance. I'm sucking wind, and he's rolling in it with that fucking Christ killer.
Esh?
Fucking Zellman. Fucking real estate scam.
And in his last scene, he does seem to be worried about something, which is clearly shown throughout Polly's facial reactions. Also there's Rhiannon. Now the lyrics to the song which she is named after fit perfectly with what happens to Tony at the end, specifically the bell part. It's also shown she is the only person outside the family to know Tony's location, where she is shown to pay attention and acknowledge what Carmela just said, and Polly also takes notice of her. There's also the fact that when discussing who to kill, someone says this to Butch.
3 pops, within a tight time frame, 24 hours, so there's no chance for them to hit back. Top 3 guys.
Paulie got the area?
No, management.
Which hints at Butch working with Polly, and if you notice, one of the models on the wall looks very similar to Rhiannon, implying a very obvious connection between them both. Then there's the fact Tony now seems to be at his most vulnerable. Polly is paranoid, Junior is mentally gone, Sylvia is in a coma, and some of his crew have become informants, so it would make sense to kill Tony now, which is shown by the fact he is constantly looking up at the door nervously. And then there's Patsy. Patsy is shown to possibly, besides Junior, come closest to killing Tony, and this shown to never really have forgiving Tony, as shown in the uncomfortable interaction with him, Tony at Meadow and Jason's engagement. And it is shown that Meadow could possibly be pregnant.
She had to go to the doctor. Switch birth control.
Thus, Patsy not wanting to be related to a soprano killing Tony in some way, or at least being involved, as it is possible his son told him the location of the diner. And then there's of course the members only guy. Now it is shown at the start of season 6 that Eugene kills someone in a members only jacket, in a seemingly similar way to which Tony would of course be killed, of course from the 3 o'clock angle, which matches up where Tony would have been shot from. And if this guy did kill Tony, it would of course be in reference to the scene from The Godfather. And the members only guy does seem to know who Tony is, considering him looking over at Tony constantly. And then there's the theory that whenever Tony is near Meadow, she is his sort of guardian angel, like in the episode College, where because she is there, it saves Tony's life. And of course the person entering the diner, most definitely, is Meadow, when Tony is killed. And finally, there's the fact that David Chase, the creator of the show, and the director of the first episode and the last episode, has admitted that Tony did indeed have a death scene written.
The scene I had in my mind was not that scene.
Okay.
Nor did I think of cutting to black. I had a scene in which Tony comes back from a meeting in New York in his car. You know, at the beginning of every show, he came from New York into New Jersey. Mm-hmm. And the last scene was going to be him coming from New Jersey back into New York for a meeting at which he was going to be killed.
And when did the alternative ending first? Do you remember when it occurred to you? but not like it's not the kind of thing where sometimes I've spoken with showrunners who say, I know at the beginning exactly how my show's going to end, or by season 3 or whatever. It sounds like when you were writing, you like to stay 6 scripts ahead of where you were in the action.
Yeah, but I think I had this notion. I was driving down Ocean Park Boulevard near the airport, and I saw a little restaurant. It was kind of like a shack that served breakfast. And for some reason, I thought, well, Tony should get it in a place like that. Why? I don't know. Right. That was like 2 years before.
Yes, you could say this is all coincidence. However, it is shown that throughout the series, David Chase specifically likes details. Even the series opening shot symbolises Tony's relationship with his mother, and of course the fact Tony is shown to have 6 fingers in this shot, which is historically thought of as a bad omen. So, in conclusion, I believe Tony was killed. There's enough sufficient evidence to prove of this theory, and it is the logical conclusion of the series. I think Chase just wanted a more artistic way of showing death.
You probably don't even hear it when it happens, right?